right now it gives us great pleasure to welcome to our broadcast. She is the head women's rugby coach here at Brown University, and this one by Morphy was driven to right field, but they are under it for the catch, and the out is round, and there's one down here in the bottom of the first inning. We're happy to be joined by Rosalind Chou. Rosalind, how are you?
I'm well. Thank you for having me, Scott.
Thank you for joining us. I appreciate it. Got a lot to talk to you about. First of all, year one in the books, or pretty much. We're winding down, and we'll talk more about that in just a moment. But you came to Brown University from Life University, and I'm curious, from your perspective, how has year one gone?
Oh, it's been amazing. I can't believe it's almost over. I guess it just really flies by when you're having fun. So it's been wonderful to be here.
So your most recent outing for the team, as the 1-0 pitch is swung on and driven to left center field. Cooper backing up, and this one's going to be over his head and off the wall. Peterson will make it into second with a stand-up double here in the bottom of the first inning. So Mika Peterson continues his hot hitting for the Bears. He now extends his hit streak to 18 games. And that'll bring up DJ Dillahay, the freshman who was the hero in the second game of the doubleheader here on Saturday. He had the 2-run walk-off single to help the Bears rally to beat Harvard in Game 2 of the Twin Bill here on Saturday. First pitch he sees from Matson is a called strike one. So your team's last outing was in the Ivy Sevens Championships up at Dartmouth. I know you won one of 3, I believe, with the lone win coming against Princeton. I mean, overall, how did the team perform?
You know, we had a great outing against Dartmouth, the eventual champions.
Yep.
Really came out strong, had a midday lull, but then finished really strong with Princeton. Was really happy with that.
The 1-1 pitch missing low and away for ball 2, 2-1 the count. So I know spring is the season for 7s, fall is for 15s, but you did have a 15s match against Vassar and an impressive win a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, it was a really tremendous performance. We've got a lot of young players, so we wanted to get them a great bit of playing time, and they are really coming out strong this spring.
They check the runner at second, and the ball sails from Matson out into center field, so Peterson able to take third on the wild throw, and he now stands on third with one down here in the bottom of the first inning, and an RBI opportunity here for DJ Dillahay. A sac fly could bring him home. Crimson infield playing back, so even a ground ball could score him. And there's a base hit to left field, and Dillahay continues his hot hitting with an RBI single, and the Bears take the early lead 1-0.
Now batting for Brown, the catcher number
Roz, I think you're good luck for the Bears here. We got to keep you here in the booth.
Yeah, it's a great view right here behind the plate.
Take a look at that replay there. The single by DJ Dillahay, the freshman from Tullahoma, Tennessee, driving in fellow first-year student-athlete Mika Peterson, and the Bears with a 1-0 lead, and that'll bring up Jacob Burley, the senior catcher for Brown, and Burley swings and fouls off the first pitch that he sees. So next up, from what I understand for your team, is the Collegiate Rugby Championship National Sevens in Maryland this weekend.
That's right.
And this is the first time that your team will be participating in this event. Is that correct?
As a varsity program, they went in 2011.
Okay.
So there was a team there. So we look to build on that, and we're in a good position as a high seed.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You're the 1 seed in the West, and Army's the 1 seed in the East. Is that correct?
Yes. Geography is a little bit off there.
That's true. West Point is further west than Providence, Rhode Island. So you will be facing Kutztown University on Friday, correct?
Yep, and they do have a very strong program. Their men have won nationals before. They're get a little extra support from athletics. So we're hoping to have a strong first game out of the gate.
Jacob Burley strikes out swinging for the second out of the inning, and that'll bring up Ryan Mara, the senior first baseman. Mara leading the Bears in long balls this season with 4. And he comes up with 2 down and a runner on first base here in the bottom of the first inning. So I understand May is Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, but this month, in the month of April, you had a chance to go out to Indiana University in Bloomington, and I understand they are commemorating it this month with a lot of different activities, and you were their opening speaker. Yes. Tell us about that experience. What was it like for you, and what were some of the things that you talked about?
Yes. So I got a call, and they had a tragic event happen in January. There was actually a hate crime. and a young Asian American student, 18 years old, was attacked and stabbed on the bus.
Awful.
Racial slurs were hurled at her, and I'm teaching here, so I actually brought it up to my class here at Brown, and then a month later I got an email from them asking me, with those events, they wanted a strong showing there of support for the community, and they asked me to come out and do a number of things. So it was interesting because I've done academic talks before, but this was integrated with athletics as with my position here.
Mara drives this one to left field, and backing up and making the catch on the run is Cooper for the final out of the inning. But the Bears do plate one here in the bottom of the first inning, and after one they lead Harvard 1-0. We're going to keep it right here, Roz, and I'd like you to continue to talk about that. What was that experience like for you? And again, more on your speech and some of the things that you talked about.
Sure. So they had 3 events for me. I had a breakfast with the Asian American Community Center there with students and staff at the community center. And then the middle of the day was all with athletics. So the field hockey coach, Danny Castro, there gave me a tour around. I got to do a lunch and learn with staff and coaches there. She did say it was the most attended lunch and learn she's seen in 5 years there.
Great.
And I just spoke about my experience both as a student athlete. I played softball at Florida State and rugby, and kind of growing up, like what it was like for an Asian American to be in those spaces where you're not typically seeing people that look like us in sports.
Sure.
And then kind of how that's informed my coaching and how I am with my teams. I've had very diverse teams over the years, and we've had discussions in all of these events that have happened, contemporary events, where people have been touched by different tragic events that are racialized. And so I talked about how I integrate that in my coaching and how I open up space on teams and what kind of conversations we have with the teams. And then finally, to the general student body, I gave a larger speech about the research I've done as a professor about Asian Americans.
We're talking to Rosalind Chou, the varsity women's rugby coach here at Brown University, as we head to the top half of the second inning. And it is Will Jacobson, the third baseman, leading things off here in the third for the Harvard Crimson. Bears with 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, no runs, 1 hit, and 1 error for the Crimson. This one is fly to center field. Morphew ranging to his left, and he makes the catch for the first out of the top half of the second inning. You mentioned, the interesting dynamic. You are not only a coach here at Brown University, but you teach as well. And I don't know how many people actually do that. Is that fun? Do you enjoy doing both things?
Today was my last day of classes with them because we fly Thursday to go to the Collegiate Rugby Championship, and it was just like really a great end to the semester. We were talking about ways in which to be advocates and have policies to move, each other as Americans together and acknowledge each other as humanity. And I have student athletes in there. I have 4 from the lacrosse team, 3 from the rugby team, and I do talk about sports in there as well. So it really brings together all my passions in one place.
What's the name of the class? My son's a freshman here at Brown. I'm going to have to tell him to add it to his itinerary.
I do teach in the sociology department, and it is critical race theory.
Critical race theory. Very good. Before we let you go, I had the privilege of speaking to a few of your student athletes on the Brown Bears Sports Report radio show a couple of weeks ago. Akila Cathy, Maktia Parker, and Morgan Cunningham. 3 terrific young women, and they represent your program very well.
They do. They are amazing. And just being here, the student athletes, they are going to change the world. They're excellent on and off the field, and it has just been I'm amazed with having the privilege to coach them.
And Maktia is a candidate for, and I don't know when they vote on this, but she was or is a candidate for Player of the Year in the sport, is she not?
She was a nominee. I think that is the first nominee for that Brown has had since they started the award.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I wish you and your team the best of luck. When you guys heading down to Maryland?
We fly out Thursday morning.
Oh, good luck, and hopefully it's a long stay, right? I think if you win Friday morning, you'd play Friday afternoon in the quarters, and then the semifinals and championship would be on Saturday?
Yep, late Saturday, 5:30, and then 8:30 for the final.
Well, Rosalind, thanks so much for joining us, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you for having me.
All right, Rosalind Chou, she is the head varsity women's rugby coach here at Brown University, our guest here as the Bears and Crimson play baseball.